I may like Ruby just a little bit. Hey guys, it's Perk and today we are back with Storytime Saturday with Cupid right down below. As you guys can tell, it's Cupid. See? Back with Cupid. Anyway, guys, welcome back. Last time was a trip. It was definitely a thing. If you haven't already watched it, just go ahead and check out the playlist. There should be a little eye that just takes you somewhere that you can just watch the whole playlist, just catch all the way up, and then watch this one here. Yeah, guys, it was interesting. Lots of stuff happened, but we're just going to jump right back into it. The craziness that is this series and this story. So we're just going to jump right on back into where we were. Before we actually get started, let me just go ahead and tell you guys what we're snacking on today is my slight addiction. Yeah. So. I don't have a problem. I can stop whenever I want. Okay? Let's just get that out of the way. I can stop whenever I want. It's only a problem if I run out. So, let's get back into the story. The second candle is lit. Its name is Philia. The love for friends. The yellow candle shone and danced with her breath. Let this candle burn until its wick is spent. Encourage friendship, bring forth memories. Let me walk in his halls without any suspicion. Is this me saying this, or is this just stuff being said? I don't know if I'm narrator or if I'm Rosa right now. I'm not sure, but whatevs. Let me walk in the hall. Let me walk in his halls without any suspicion. Let me rummage through his belongings invisibly. His journal. He guards his journal fiercely. I must find it. I think that was supposed to be me. Oh, we're at a theater. We're at the theater, so we can do theater things. So let's see. Rosa adjusted her coat as she sat on one of the reserved seats. The theater was packed. The air buzzed with excitement. She hadn't realized this many people would come tonight. Oh, Mother, I wish they would stop staring at me. And why not? This was Madame Catherine Peride's first solo concerto. Her name had been slowly gathering recognition the past few years. It was feasible to expect a full house. Still, the turnout was more than they had expected. Paris had taken Rosa and Catherine by surprise. The sheer number of people and their liveliness were well above the usual sights of their small town. Catherine was obviously thrilled with the opportunity to play in such an esteemed venue for her debut. Rosa tried her best to keep her anxiety under control. Relatable. This was for Catherine. Yes, for her. This was her night. Rosa took a deep breath and released it slowly. It relaxed her. I need to remember to continue to look at their faces because their faces go through the changes. Ah, yeah. See, that's cool. And I got really used to Sakura Spirits type stuff where it doesn't really change for the entirety of everything. And then suddenly it'll change once. And then it's all changing to a whole new scene. But this one, it changes facial expressions almost every single time. So you got to pay attention. That was my... Shut up. I hope the show starts soon. Rosa's eyes drifted towards the stage and then to the throng of people gathered on her far left. You know what she reminds me of right now? She looks like frickin' Larry the Cucumber from frickin' VeggieTales with the one tooth. Cause I love... Anyway, no, we're done. In the middle of the huddle stood a familiar shape of a man. He had his back to her, but the posture and the build were unmistakable. That is William. Her heart made a sudden gleeful jump. Oh my god, did you see that smile creep across her face? That's adorable. She was delighted that he had made it into the Catherine show. He had been traveling extensively recently. What if she walked over and made sure? William would greet her kindly. She was sure Catherine would be thrilled to know that he was here. ... Rosa pondered for a bit, reminded of a sudden wince of pain. Soon the master of ceremonies obliged people to take their seats. William turned around and walked towards her. He stopped midway and took a seat without noticing her presence. Rosa seemed in deep thought. What's wrong, sweetheart? Is something bothering you? Nothing, Mother. Don't lie to me. I just didn't expect to see him here, that's all. Oh, I see. It is the same problem, isn't it? Are you worried about Catherine now that he's here? Does William's presence... Okay, so last episode we found out that this timeline isn't going in a chronological time. It's not going chronologically, so it's jumping all around. So I'm not sure where we are. Is this going to be after Catherine has killed her sister or before? I'm gonna have to think that it's after, and that's why Catherine would get upset by knowing that William's here. So, are you worried about William? That's what I'm gonna say. Are you worried about Catherine? Are you worried about Catherine now that he's here? Wait, I forget. She does not care what I actually say. She says her own thing. So, that filthy man again. I'm sure Catherine will be pleased. Whatever will she think that her lover is not, now that her lover is back? I bet she would rather spend all her time with him, as usual. My poor darling. Always running after her star. I wonder how long until she is tired of you constantly tagging along. You brag to me that you share everything like sisters. Does that include William too? Yo, William. My dude, are you getting it in like that? My dude. If he's getting it in like that, my God. Oh, you are making your life so complicated, darling. Why do you even bother yourself with these people? Oh my God. It's obvious he is never going to look at you. Or it is obvious that she will abandon you. Let's think about this for a second. Let's think. It's obvious he's never going to look at you. Makes it think that William's the big thing that we're talking about. It's obvious that she will abandon you. Makes it seem like Catherine's the big thing we're talking about. Which Catherine's into William. Honestly, I can't think of anything. So you know what? Everybody, welcome back with a warm welcome. The Two-Faced Corner. The Two-Faced Corner. Let's go ahead and figure it out. Which one we're going to say. Heads is he's never going to look at you. And tails is she will abandon you. Because those are both great options. Looks like she will abandon you. She will obviously abandon you when they get together. They make such a lovely pair. Rosa winced at Mother's voice, as if it were nails grinding on a wall. It's only a matter of time, isn't it? What would you do then? Are you tired of being the third wheel? It's not like that, Mother. We're friends. Friends? Darling, friendship is nothing but a shallow kind of relationship. People can change friends as easily as the weather. You don't even remember the friends you made at a certain age. You don't even remember the friends that you make at a certain age. Family is more important. I'm going to go with family is more important. Make it look like we're not talking about us, but just in general, family is important. So, family is more important. I'm the only one who will care for you forever, darling. A mother's love will endure. Whew. This bond can never be broken by time or absence. Family lifts you up. That's not always true. It saves. Not always true. Of course you feel this way. You see them often. But when you lose touch, you're left with nothing but a collection of strangers. And believe me, my dear, they will leave. They always leave. You amuse them now, but soon they will abandon you too. Rose's tongue felt bitter in her mouth. She was filled with annoyance for her mother. Wasn't happiness as fleeting as friendship? Yet it was not any less real than sadness. Yes, family was important. These familial bonds kept her from losing herself. It was her rock, her foundation. But were these bonds the only constant value? These friends, these were people who accepted her. They shared laughter and tears through their own regrets and dreams. In her heart, she had found a home with them. What more was needed? Rose's confused feelings began to arrange themselves neatly in her mind. William and Catherine's happiness was important to her. That was the main thing. She knew that they felt the same way for her. Her insecurities were real, but they were insignificant. If anything, they were bittersweet. She had no regrets. No regrets. It says regrets, but you guys know the tattoo, the person's got like no regrets on their arm. Okay, never mind. I'm done. I'm done explaining this. For the first time in her life, she wanted to talk back to Mother. She bit her lips, quelling the nerves as she opened her mouth to speak. I know that. What? I know that they might abandon me one day, but for whatever reason. It might be today or next year, or even sooner. But that doesn't matter in the long run. I am happy with them. Ooh. Okay. There you go. Speak up for yourself, girl. Girl. Speak up for yourself. We've had years together that I will treasure. Like I treasure memories of you too, Mother. My memories of you keep me sustained. That is why I love you. The years we spent together, no matter how fleeting, are still worth something. So let me care for them right now. Everything changes, but nothing is lost. Rosa was sure she had read it somewhere. Rosa waited for Mother to answer with a vicious voice, to burst out screaming at her cheekiness. But no voice came. Rosa smiled to herself. The lights dimmed. A low hush descended on the pews. Soon Catherine entered, clad in her loveliest gown and an even lovelier smile. She was beautiful. She belonged on the stage. The lights shone on her, but they paled in comparison to her radiance. Catherine bowed to the audience and took a seat in front of the piano. That one dude who clapped a couple times too long just... Dude needs to go home. He's already drunk. We know there was a two drink limit, but this guy's already gone. What a lightweight. She began to play. Seems a bit off key, but you know. There we go. Let's see, she straightened up. She straightened up in a second, but you know, that beginning piece a little bit rough. Ooh, the feeling in that. Rosa gripped the handle of her seat. She felt surges of emotions with every note. A kind of energy passed through her, touching her skin and making her break into goosebumps. Oh, Catherine. Rosa hadn't known of such an effect before this moment. Music that could strike the heart as if it was fiddling with the soul. Fiddling. I like that word. It was different from practice, different from when she was performing in front of smaller groups. This was the stage, and here was a woman with strings. She was tugging the right keys, touching your heart, and electrifying your soul. Rosa realized she wasn't alone in this feeling. The whole room was mesmerized. She looked at the lady beside her seat, and she had her hand to her open mouth. A teardrop dangled precariously on her eye. The man to her left seemed to have forgotten to blink. Rosa beamed and savored a rush of kinship with them. They were experiencing the same emotions with her. It made her love them just a little bit. Aww, there you go. Rosa closed her eyes and savored the night. How cool would it be if they added like Fire Emblem like cutscenes like for her playing the piano? Not voice part, like you still had to put the text in yourself, but like just the cutscenes themselves, just even if they loop to an extent, like I feel like that would have been grand. But I know I'm just kind of thinking bigger than this project was, so it's all good. I'm just saying how cool would it have been. A bead of sweat fell from Catherine's chin. She was out of her body now. Her stress from the beginning of the show had thawed and turned into passion. It ran down her fingers to the keys. It did not escape Catherine's notice that most people in the crowd came to the show to gawk at her. Catherine Parade, the one that the infamous Marquis de Gaulle has been courting for years. Didn't he pay for this event? Lucky broad. Catherine Parade, I heard she was some pianist. Any good? Who knows? Must be. If even the Marquis is chasing her. Catherine Parade, some female pianist. Pretty face, nice flesh on her. Let us watch her show. Her fingers caressed the keys, playing them with the force of her heart. Did she play to prove them wrong? Her music saturated the theater with her fervor. Fervor. Sorry. No, not to prove them wrong. To set it right. Catherine Parade is my name. I am more than just a pretty face. I am playing this piece for you. It is my gift. Let me touch your soul. Rosa felt her eye get moist. This was Catherine's heart transcribed into music. All energy and beauty with the strength of the wind. The mischief of a sudden gale that whips at ladies' skirts and tips gentlemen's hats. The cold breeze that carried the loneliness of the coming winter. Everyone in the audience felt it. Rosa searched for William's face in the darkness. She couldn't see him clearly. But it didn't matter. She knew what he was feeling. She felt it too. Rosa's heart began to ache. It was a sting she didn't know how to name. After the show, Rosa greeted Catherine in her backstage dressing room. She was smothered in flowers from the audience. Sweat glistened on her forehead. Catherine gave her a tight hug. Congratulations, Kath. You were marvelous on stage. Thank you, Rosie. Thank you, Rosie. Let me see if I can, because this is again a different age, so. Thank you, Rosie. Catherine covered her cheeks with her hands. I'm still shaking. The excitement from the stage hasn't left. Look at my hands. Oh dear. So I will call this show a success, yes? Pour the champagne, shall ye? It's a night to remember. Catherine and Rosa hugged again. Let me just finish up here, Rosa. Then we'll celebrate properly. Two young, ravishing ladies sampling the best of what Paris has to offer. I like it. Rosa laughed. Just don't let go of my hand. You might get lost being so starry-eyed. She was teasing, but smiling brightly all the same. I would never. Anyway, shall I meet you outside in a few minutes? Very well. I'll see you later. Rosa was thankful to leave the backstage area. She had almost forgotten her anxiety during the show, but the backstage was an ill reminder of the crowd. She looked forward to the night ahead, wondering vaguely why she hadn't mentioned William's presence to Kath. She shrugged it off. It had simply slipped her mind, that was all. Catherine went back to her dressing room, humming as she was about to grab her coat. She wasn't the least bit tired. Visions of city, exploring new sights, and gaining experiences made her giddy with excitement. It will end the night on the best note, she was sure. A small knock interrupted her thoughts. Oh, it's gonna be William, isn't it? Who's there? Catherine turned around and the cheerful smile rose on her face. The Marquis peeked from the open door and stepped inside. Hello, Kath. A tingling passed through Catherine's neck. Although she was aware he had returned, this was her first time she had seen him in 2 years. After she rebuked his intentions of wooing her. Catherine shook her head at that memory. They grew up together. It was normal to develop feelings for someone you shared most of your life with, was it not? Yet Catherine had promised herself not to dabble with the Marquis. With all the rumors and the past flings, it felt like she knew too much. Too complicated, she had reasoned. The rumors were still alive in some circles. But hadn't William come clean with his romantic escapades? Hadn't he vowed to be faithful since he had made his intentions clear? Who to believe? Perhaps it was possible that... Catherine pushed away from the insinuation of the last thought and rearranged her face into a merry smile. She curtsied. My lord Marquis, thank you for coming. That last bit came out too loud in her ears. It felt like her voice was compensating. She suppressed a groan. I hope you found the show satisfactory. My lord Marquis. What happened to the Gilly monster? At once, the memories flooded her mind. That used to be her greeting every time she had visited him back then. She would scream that when she saw him, right before she flung her arms around his neck. Catherine didn't know what to do. Suddenly her hands, the hands that had never betrayed her, felt like they belonged to someone else. She cleared her throat and felt the smile harden on her face. Pardon my past slight, sire, but I was a bit of a precocious child. After all, I must give my due respects to the sponsor of this event. Thank you, by the way. It didn't have to be so extravagant. Wasn't it your dream to play in Paris, Kath? I thought your debut would be the perfect opportunity to fulfill that dream. I like that audio work, man. That audio work. So good. Can we just run through that one more time? Perfect. It just works. It just works. So good. Anyway, the Marquis stepped into her quarters and closed the door. Catherine flinched, afraid that the small room would draw them even closer. Just the effect he wanted, probably. The sly fox. She floundered for a bit and contented herself in fussing with the flowers on her table. She should chase him out. Why wasn't she chasing him out? Murder day, Catherine. Murder day? Did we look this one up and I have forgotten? We may have. But let's find out. Only one good way to find out what it means. Murder means shit. So, murder, Catherine. I didn't think you'd be attending tonight, sire. Weren't you traveling? Yes, I was. But I wouldn't miss your concerto for the whole of France. William stepped forward. And it seems my investments were well placed. She's being real flustered now. William drew closer to Catherine, so near that she could smell the mint in his breath. He appeared to reach out to her face, but changed direction at the last minute. Oh, these flowers are from the Duke. How pretty. He examined the card dangling a hair away from Catherine's ear, trying to look fascinated by the piece of decorative paper. Then he stepped back and grinning like an idiot. He really has great taste. Tat-tat-tat. Wherever did you learn that, muckhead? If you thought that kind of ploy would make her swoon, then he was dead wrong. In fact, all it made her want to do was wipe that stupid grin off his face. With the backside of the vase. Yes, he does, doesn't he? She gritted her teeth, unable to take the acidic edge off her voice. It wouldn't be so hard. All she had to do was grab the neck of the expensive vase and fling it at his head. She wasn't sure if the vase would break. Maybe not. Maybe she would need to hit him again for the full effect. Catherine, didn't you hear what I just said? Huh? I said now that I'm back in town, would you consider playing for me again? It was part of our original arrangement, after all. She felt the tendons in her neck tighten. I have a full schedule this week, sire, but I'll let you know when I'm free. Oh. Sire, I must retire for the night. I am exhausted from my performance, after all. Excuse me. Catherine turned around and went for a coat, but she felt William grab her hand. Wait, They stared at each other for a couple of seconds. William looked like he was about to say something. His mouth opened and closed as if debating the correct words in his head. But he just dropped Catherine's hand a moment later. I'm sorry. You're right. You must be tired. His shoulders dropped. Catherine felt a tinge of disappointment, but ignored it quickly. William let out a sigh. I know I'm not good at this, Catherine. Oh, what do I know? You seem to do just fine. You have an amazing track record. Huh? Catherine folded her arms over her chest with a pout. Oh, that. That is just because of my face. What? Most people think I am very deep and thoughtful when I stare at them like this. I just run with it. I can't tell if he's serious or not, but it's kind of funny. He's like, yeah, that's just my face. See, she can't help but laugh. Catherine bit her lip to prevent the chuckle from escaping, but the laughter burst out from her. He hadn't changed at all. Before she could stop herself, a mischievous smile appeared on her lips. No, actually, it's your inability to make big gestures, Gilly. Huh? Well, look at you. She copied his tight, alert posture. You stand stiff as a board. I guess it fools people into believing you are a graceful, dashing soul. William made a pout. Dude, his face got so serious just then. Hold up. Look at this facial change. It's so subtle, but it's so legit. The little bit of sweat, gone. He's just done. Tired of this shit. He's like, I did not come here to be ridiculed. I did not come here to get ridiculed. But guess what? You kinda did. So. I am dashing, though. Maybe. Au contraire, monsieur, misery. I did have the misfortune of being victim to your dancing. Bruh, she's calling him out right now. Must you always bring that up? It was a long time ago. He looked so distressed that Catherine couldn't help but tease him further. I mourn the death of my little toe, sire. I like that too. It was a traumatic experience. Before long, they were laughing. Like it was the most natural thing in the world. When did it change? Hadn't it always been like this? Catherine settled back into her own skin, mulling the confusion in her veins. Kath. She looked up at him, her own emotions strung her. You can't keep running away from me. Da-da-da? She sighed deeply. Her hands tightened around her resolve, for lack of a solid thing to hold on to. Perhaps not, but I've already given you an answer. Da-da-da. I am aware. Da-da-da. I've tried to accept it. Please don't take offense, but I thought it would be easy. I left to clear my head, to fill my mind with other things. Traveling usually does the trick. For a while, at least, I thought I was successful. But even during my trip, I would catch myself thinking such absurd things like, I wonder what Kath will say when she sees that. No, I don't think Kath will like this too much. Well, Kath used to say... Da-da-da. It was funny, but also a little infuriating to know that you have never left my mind. So I wish I knew how to do this. I am... He sighed. I'm too used to people leaving me, that I do not know how to quit on my own. Da-da-da. It must bother you that amidst of that... It must bother you that amidst of that the amount of lovers I had in the past. I am sorry for that. I almost wish I really was that adept. But like I have told you, most were simply rumors. The rest were people realizing I am not as interesting as they had initially thought. Quilliam. They never stay long, Kath. One could say I'm amazing with first impressions. First impressions. I don't know why I stumbled over every single part of that word, but I definitely did. I don't know how. I have no idea how, but I did it. I managed. There's a nagging feeling that's all I'm ever good for. A sort of exotic trophy people like to collect for its sake, and then put it aside when the novelty expires. I can't blame them. By now, I'm quite sure that I am what is wrong. Da-da-da. I must be better at letting people go. But you... Please don't make me let go. You see through me, Kath. In your eyes, I feel like I'm somebody worth loving. Is it any wonder I'd like to continue thinking of you fondly? Old habits die hard, I suppose. Kath bit her lip. Those words are impressive, sire. But do you have a point? My point? It's simple, really. I don't think I'll be able to stop my feelings for you. The facial expressions, I love them. Sorry. Ta-ta-ta. You may reject me as many times as you wish. It will not change. I've already come to the conclusion that I don't mind. He shrugged. So I propose that you either get used to me chasing you, or you give in to my dashing, toe-mashing charms. Catherine chuckled despite herself. Or I could just kill you with the Duke's fashionable vase. Please do not give my superior the pleasure. I would rather you rip my heart out of my chest and offer it as a dark sacrifice to the gods. Gory! Very poetic. Dashing points for you. You think so? I've been reading a lot of romance novels lately. What kind of romance novels are you talking about? I figured I must learn to be more suave to make the lady of my dreams swoon. Is it working? Catherine laughed. Hardly. I believe this is how they do it in the big finale. William cleared his throat and knelt down on one knee. He took Catherine's hand awkwardly, trying to act as natural as he could. His serious face made Catherine burst out laughing. We're gonna pretend like I know exactly how to say that, right? So check it. So you say that one by saying,
Quelle folie. Quelle folie.
Alright, so, quelle folie. What in the world are you doing, you idiot? Stop laughing, madam. I must try this at least once. I'm simply concerned for an older gentleman in his knee. Will you be able to stand up from that position later, given your obvious grace? William chuckled. Terrible. Dare you call me an old man? I don't look my age, you know. Sure, sure. Oh, stop laughing, will you? I'm trying to concentrate. He cleared his throat again. Will Mademoiselle Catherine Paride allow me an audience tonight? As such, perhaps she might allow me to stay by her side for a while longer. It will make me a very happy man. It was sappy and ridiculous, and yet hearing the words did stir Catherine's heart. They were giggling like fools now, like children, her heart heavy with love for him. Love? Did she just think love? Of course she did. She had always loved him. Why was she fighting her feelings again? The reason seemed unclear all of a sudden. All right, sire. Your gallantry has convinced this lady to accept your offering for tonight. She bowed with an exaggerated curtsy. William took her hand theatrically as he stood up. This gentleman is relieved he didn't have to sing. A few rules for tonight. As we are in Paris, you must be on your best behavior. No embarrassing jokes like making friends with the street mimes. Agreed. As such, I must retire by 8, 10, 8, 9:30. 9, take it or leave it. William grumbled, but Catherine just chuckled at his frustration. Fine, 9:15 it is. Sire, I meant 9 sharp. William's face brightened like a little boy's. Oh, I know where we can go. There's this quaint little piazza just south of here. They have a breathtaking view of the city. They're on a hill, you see. I know the owner personally, so we're already guaranteed the best seats. And they serve the best pommes de terre gratin again? If you continue eating that every opportunity you get, soon there will be no potatoes left in all France. Catherine sighed. Why must he be so? This better not be a game like all your other flings, sire. I deserve to be treated like more than a prize. But Catherine watched William's face beam as he talked about that little house on the hill. How when the weather was perfect, the stars would soak the sky. She giggled to herself with fondness. What's a dolt? A night in Paris, and he would rather eat cheese potatoes. It was just like him to pick the stars instead of the city, wasn't it? It pleased her to know that she had adored this side of him. It pleased her to know that she adored this side of him that others did not see. But was this the real him? Did she really see through him like that, like he said? Or was this a face he put on for her sake, like most flirts could? If it was, then she had been watching his face since she was a little girl. From awe to admiration, from friends to lovers. They had seen the best and the worst of each other throughout the years. Surely there was something to that. Surely it couldn't all be a lie, right? I'm sorry, I got carried away. Shall we go? " Yes. Catherine grabbed her coat and William took her purse. Oh, I almost forgot Rosa is waiting outside. I was about to say, you ain't just gonna leave Rosa out there like that. I was like, low-key, I'm like, bro, she better not, like, flake out on Rosa on this shit. Because then, you know, mother gonna go crazy on that. See, I told you. And then I'm like, bruh, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. And then I'd literally be telling myself shut the fuck up because, like, mother is me. I'm playing mother, not really Rosa. Rosa just kind of would react to me being like, shut the fuck up, as well as saying, so, you know, it wouldn't really work out. But, you know, I had the thought. That's what matters. Then let us hurry and meet up with her. I haven't seen her for a long time. I missed her, too. It will be a treat to spend the evening with two esteemed ladies. She'll be thrilled to see you. Just like old times. Us three. Yes. She slipped her hand on his arm nonchalantly and caught William's smile to himself. Oh, that's detail. Watch this little quick smile, gone. Like it. At the very least, let that smile be real. Whoa. Hold up, did I miss something? No, it was just that abrupt. What? Oh god, they were just all happy. Come on, timeline. Give me some break in between. Give me some break in between the bullshit, man. Come on. Let me get my drink of water and just go straight into it. You're lying! Lady Claudette saw you in Nimes. Tears and snot ran down her face. She was holding a vintage 1610 bottle of wine. Oh, Jesus. That's ridiculous. She gripped the neck of the bottle and flung it at the wall where William was standing. He ducked just in time to avoid the glass. Sherry! Don't you sherry me, you bastard! Can we not take it out of my wine collection again? Catherine threw another bottle in response. Stop, Catherine, you're going to hurt yourself. Hurt myself? Like you care. You tell me you're off to Avignon last weekend, but you're actually in Nimes? Why are you making this into a huge deal? So I had to stop over at a neighboring town. It's a lie if you omit things. I told you at the very start of the relationship, William. I want 100% honesty from you. And I've told you as well. Wait. Start of the relationship, I want 100% honesty. And I've told you as well, I have a reputation. Rumors follow me. Idle mouths can't help but chatter. Did you know that Lady Claudette once indecently proposed to me? And right in her husband's birthday gathering as well? So what? That is all beside the point. You know what they say, where there's smoke, there's a fire. How about a name to further torch the bush? Lelaine de Mauclair? Lelaine is the shop girl of the town, a nice girl. Or at least, I summarized from all 3 times I've made the mistake of entering her shop, it looks like. Is there anything else you would like to insinuate? Oh, nothing at all, sire. Why? Is there anything I should know? William sighed and tried to speak calmly. Sherry, I promised you when we got engaged, didn't I? I will be faithful only to you. There is no one else. But Catherine gritted her teeth. Again with this! You are more vague than a monkey's spit. Answer me straight, right now, yes or no. Are you having an affair? William threw his hands up in the air in annoyance. Mad there, Catherine. I am not. I've already answered this. Why does it seem like you're the only one? Why does it seem like you only hear what you want to hear? I just want to understand everything and make it crystal clear. Is that so bad? Now, explain to me what Lady Claudette. Lady Claudette, you are taking that bitter conniving woman's word over mine. Humph. Well, I try to get information from the source, but the source isn't very reliable. By the way, if you're wondering why her voice changed midway through me doing her voice, it's because she's now older, so I feel like she changed a little bit. I also am very bad at trying to keep this voice somewhat on the same road. But, I don't know, you guys critique my voices down below. William's shoulders slumped in an irritated surrender. She heard him curse under his breath. I am tired of this, Kath. This is a waste of time. What is the point of this if we keep going around in circles? Catherine snuffled, wiping her nose savagely with her hand. You always do this. You go off on a tangent and pick things apart. You don't even listen to my side at all. Could you stop acting like a child for 1 minute? Maybe then we can have a real conversation. A conversation with a liar is always one-sided. Catherine grabbed 2 bottles this time. What would happen if she brought the 2 bottles? What would happen if she brought the 2 bottles crashing in front of her? Would the pieces of the glass stab her face? Her eyes, maybe? What a random thought. The morbid picture gave her an out-of-body experience. It was a nasty fight, depressingly familiar. But they were dancing to the same tune once again. Here be the lovers. Hey, dude, just we'll just roll with it. Let's roll with it. I got nothing. Pause. Quick theory. Like 5 minutes later, we're probably gonna find this out or something, but this is something written by Rosa, since she was talking about possibly writing a screenplay. Maybe this is her screenplay of the 2 of them arguing. Blah, 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 blah. That's all I can really come up with. That small bit, but you get what I'm saying here, so we'll see. No. Side note, I've got hot sauce in my room because I'm black. Got a bottle of Louisiana hot sauce just chilling. Don't ask me why. I actually know exactly why, but don't ask. What I do in my spare time concerns you not. Enter left, the hothead. Watch her dance with anger blazing. Tears are sparkling bitter rage. The fight goes on until she's spent. The reason's hazy in her head. Pan right, the rake. Both the victim and accused. Words are poisoned or an unfit or an unlit fuse. Migraines taunt his pride and temper. He grudgingly takes on logic's mantle. The words they throw reach fever pitch. The dance will crest, he'll choose to leave. Enough of this, he says in rage. Temper rising, he exits the frame. Her unspent fever burning hot, she cries it off. That cowardly sod. What do you expect, she asks herself. He'll take abuse with a bowed head. The least he could do, her anger shouts. A hint of guilt, a hint of doubt. The migraine throbs as he's pacing. Annoyed and angered, his face is flushed. Capricious woman, irrational. He shakes his head with a tired breath. Yet he basks in torture and savors the taste. This is love, he nods. This is love, he says. Love and pain go hand in hand. It is painful, yes, but never bland. He nips a morsel and takes a bite. Exquisite, he trembles. A rush, a charge. He feels his heart and is struck by love. Decides that it is worth the gripe. A dainty flower he must protect, to watch it bloom until it's ripe. But not right now, he says, still sore. His pride's too hard to swallow whole. Hours pass, he wouldn't call. She forms the words she know will hurt. She plans to cut and make him bleed. Yet arrives, she all but weeps. Why'd you leave? I shouldn't have. Are you angry still? I'm here now, love. Her arms are snug upon his neck. He'll promise to change to do his best. For both their sakes, he admits he's wrong. A little lie to complete the song. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you love. Just tell me when you're tired of me or when you find some... Just tell me when you're tired of me or when you find some other pretty thing, you bastard. Catherine slipped back into her brain just as the last sentence left her lips. If you're going to leave, then just leave. Stop playing me for a fool. This was a new tempo. She dropped the bottles to her side, but did not let go. He noticed the change of song and timed his step accordingly. I never once thought or treated you like a fool. I love you. I'm never going to leave you. New tears churn and bubble from her eyes. Sorry. Liar! It was her turn to leave this time, and she did. He was left to perform a solo. Contemplation, regret, penance. A vow of a new beginning forming in his head. The hell? Kath? Rosie. Okay, is she drunk as fuck? She looks like she's drunk as fuck. Catherine stumbled into Rose's room that evening, drunk to high heaven. Is that boy good at calling it or what? Hashtag no product placement. Her half-lidded eyes surveyed Rose's meager space. She let herself fall on the bed, regretting it instantly. The ceiling spun into a waltz of throbbing headaches and acid-laced throats. Bad idea. Bad idea. Catherine stood up, and her wobbly legs tripped her. Rosa caught her and sat Kath on her small bed. My goodness, you stink of alcohol. She propped some pillows behind her back and fixed the stray hairs that had littered her face. Thanks, hon. You're a dear. How much have you had, Kath? Catherine counted on her fingers. Never mind. Would you like some water? Nope. Interesting. Huh? I can almost hear liquid sloshing around in my brain when I shake my head. Rosa pursed her lips. Catherine was in no shape to make decisions right now. She stood up to get something to sober up. But Catherine grabbed Rosa's hand and tugged at it gently. No. You sit. Please. Rosa complied. Catherine revealed a bottle about 3/4 full. Snuck another one from Gilly Monster's closet. Serves him right for calling me a child. Rosa began to protest. Catherine paid her no mind. Come on, Rosa. When have we ever drunk ourselves to the point of insanity? And I call you my best friend. Catherine took a huge swig of the bittersweet liquid and offered it to Rosa. Rosa examined it carefully and took a mouthful. She gargled in her mouth, admiring the sweet and sour flavor of the wine. I've never had anything this rich before. Good, right? It had to be. It's the last bottle. So, had another fight with Git. Bad wind follows that name. This is me trying to do a drunk person. I've got so many drunk stories. I should do something to tell those stories with. Where I work, I get a bunch of different drunk stories. I should definitely start telling them more often. I should make that a thing. But for another time. I am not talking about the egocentric pompadour tonight. We are going to drink. We are going to reminisce. And tomorrow we'll hate ourselves together. Agreed? Rosa giggled. If you say so. All right. Last one. Rosa puffed her cheeks in mock disgust. Fine. How do you make holy water? How? Boil the hell out of it! Rosa and Catherine were assaulted by fits of hysterical laughter. Catherine felt the muscle of her cheeks ache. That is so bad, I don't even have words. Catherine wiped the tears of laughter from her eye. I heard that from one of your suitors, Sir Adrian. Rosa rolled her eyes. How come I always end up talking to your suitors more than you? I must start charging you a fee. I'll pay it with gratitude. What is wrong with Sir Adrian? I can talk words, guys. What's wrong with this Sir Adrian anyway? He seems like a nice man. Nice hair, nice teeth, nicely groomed mutton chops. That's the first problem. The women laughed. How about Sire Ferdinand? How about Sire Ferrand? He sent you that lovely bouquet of flowers. I am not interested in a relationship at the moment. I'm slipping their accents together right now. It's fucked, but try to stay with me. At the moment, you don't seem interested ever. I am. Sometimes. It's just hard to connect to people from me beyond physical. It's just hard for me to connect to people from me beyond physical. Relationships seem out of the question. You don't have any difficulty with me or the idiot in the upper room. It means you're not incapable. That is only because you are my closest friends. Well, there must be someone. Oh, you are so picky. If you go on like that, you might end up an old maid. So be it. I'd rather take care of your children anyway. I shall be the amazing grandmother. Catherine smiled wistfully. I'm not sure I want any. What? Children. I love children, but it's a little scary. Catherine bit her lip. What if she becomes her own mother? It was such a terrifying possibility, wasn't it? She barely remembered her mother. Her Maldy had struck as soon as Catherine was born. She had never called Catherine by her name, not even on the day she had died. All she knew was that her family struggled with the crisis. Her father, exhausted and depressed, and her sister forced to grow up too fast. To be blight to the people you love, how horrible. To be a blight to the people you love, how horrible would it be? Catherine. Rosa smiled at her, interrupting her thoughts. You will be a good mother. Your past does not matter. Catherine stared at Rosa, almost enchanted at her ability to know what she was thinking. She really was her best friend, wasn't she? The thought warmed her heart. You really think so? Yeah. The fact that you are so concerned about them before they are even born speaks much of your kindness. Whatever happens to those children will grow up loved. Catherine blushed and changed the subject. Oh, we're out of booze. We finished it. I'm quite buzzed. Hey, remember the first time we drank? Do you mean the party or the potato incident? Of course I mean the potato incident. Oh, how could I forget? Rosa burst out laughing. That was hilarious. Winch, stop laughing. I almost went to jail. Yo, the crazy eyes real quick though. They went from I'm drunk as fuck to crazy. Crazy. Sorry. Goodness, I was so stupid. Rosa laughed again. Amen. Hey, you're supposed to say no, Catherine. We do dumb things when we're young. Catherine, we do dumb things when we're young. It's about time you learn your lesson. I can't wait to tell your children endless tales of your shenanigans. Winch! Catherine grabbed Rosa's waist and attempted to tickle her. But Rosa slipped away laughing. Catherine's stomach lurched and she stopped, her hands hugging Rosa's waist. The room spun, but it wasn't unpleasant. She felt like she was being gently rocked in a cradle. She closed her eyes and smiled. She took in Rosa's scent, always smelling slightly like apples. Rosa scratched her head and smoothed her hair. This is nice. Yeah. Rosa? Thank you for being with me. Of course. No, I mean... She sat up on the bed. You've been with me all my life. You are my eldest friend. When we first met, I didn't have many friends. I just studied my piano lessons night and day because that's all I ever knew. That's all I ever knew to do. It was all I had. Maybe that was why I begged Papa to let you stay with us. I was so happy. Rosa smiled fondly at the memory. You were there for me always. Ugh, that sounds disgustingly melodramatic. You're drunk, I understand. They laughed again. Would you like to hear something worse? What? You changed my life. Ugh, that is worse. Rosa smiled fondly as she played with Catherine's hair. I'm the lucky one, Catherine. You took me home and treated me like I was family. I wouldn't have known what a real family was like without you, Papa Francis, and Emily. Even if Papa Francis always did avoid me, I knew he cared for me like his own. Yes, why is that? That was why I liked him. He was a good man. And you know, William was almost family too. Catherine made a face at the mention of the man, but her eyes softened. I miss my father. Me too. There was a pause. Catherine shifted awkwardly in her skin. Can I tell you a secret? Of course. William and I, we haven't had intercourse. Who says it like that? Recently? No, I mean at all. Oh. Rosa cleared her throat. I see. After all these years? Well, after the first time, never again. Rosa blushed. Her head knitted together images of what the two people she considered her friends. Rosa tried to push them away, but... Wait. Knitted together images of the two people she considered her friends. Rosa tried to push them away, but all she was able to do was paint the wrapped fantasies in gossamer and fuzz. Gossamer? That's a new one. She cleared her throat. Is that why you have separate rooms even when we moved into the chateau? No, that was his idea. He's very particular with his sleep. I imagine we'll be keeping separate bedrooms even when we get married. I don't really mind. Well, your wedding is soon, isn't it? Perhaps you are just nervous. No, I don't think it's like that. Recently, we'd get intimate, but I always stop when things got too sultry. I thought she was about to say slutty. I was like, okay, she really gives no fucks about her filters. He gets upset with me sometimes, but he says it's all right. Catherine looked down ruefully on her toes. He doesn't push me into it. I should be glad, but don't you think it's strange? What if I stay like this even after we get married? I don't understand why. Sometimes I get these doubts and I wonder why they are there. Isn't that unfair for him? I feel like there's something wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with you. But it makes me feel really insecure. This lack of, what if he's getting it somewhere else? It drives me crazy. And believe me, I want to. I just can't for some reason. I get this horrible feeling I can't explain. Rosa examined Catherine's face and came to a conclusion. It took me a while to understand sex. The sudden no-nonsense comment surprised Catherine. Rosa went on. I was the same as you. I had always had an adverse feeling for it. Like it's dirty and that I should be ashamed for enjoying it. I always thought love would make sex clean. But that's not how it works. They are two separate things. Ta-ta-ta. So just because you don't like sex, it doesn't mean you don't love him, Kath. Catherine looked up at her. Why do you even care so much to hurt him? What do you think love is? Ta-ta-ta. The warm feeling returned to Catherine's heart. How do you do that? Huh? You always know the right things to say. Always! Rosa blushed. At this, suddenly aware they were still in a loose tangle of an embrace. I've read a lot of smart books lately. She tried to diffuse the situation with a laugh, but Catherine didn't drop her look. Candlelight played pretty shadows on her skin. It illuminated the glint in her eyes, the moist on her lips. Rosa felt the warmth of the alcohol rise up to her face. Her heartbeat increased steadily. Anyway, maybe you will feel better about it when you are married. You probably are just nervous about the whole thing. She made attempts to curl away from Catherine's arms, slowly, subtly run away, disperse the proximity. But she couldn't run away from her stare. Catherine's hand caressed Rosa's face. She touched her scars daintily, tracing them with her fingers. You're really pretty, Rosa. Especially when you smile. Ta-ta-ta. Thank you, I think. Ta-ta-ta. You don't believe me. Ta-ta-ta. I don't think I am. Dryness in the throat. Ta-ta-ta. I look in the mirror and I see a freak. Rosa! That is not true. It is fine. I liked being a freak. I wanted to be ugly. I used to bind my breasts and hide in the shabbiest clothes I could find. Rosa touched her eye. This was penance, she remembered herself saying. For being a sinner and a freak. For attracting attention and spite. For dressing nicely. For letting her hair grow long. But really, I did this to myself. To hide. To hide? Rosa's mouth quivered. I thought people don't touch ugly things. Ta-ta-ta. But the truth is, they do. So I'd rather be as invisible. Catherine wrapped her arms around Rosa's neck. She heard Catherine sniff and wipe tears behind her embrace. She pushed Rosa's hair away and kissed her defective eye. You're not a freak, and you're not ugly. I love every part of you. They're all beautiful. Rosa forgot how close they were now. Forgot Catherine's hand on her own. Here was someone who accepted her with all her faults and ugliness. You always made me feel like I am worth something. Because you are. You're beautiful, Rosa, inside and out. Rosa saw her face reflecting Catherine's eyes. In them, she did indeed look beautiful. A lump formed in Rosa's throat. Catherine's face hovered above her cheek. She planted a little seed of a kiss on it, just barely away from her lips. Rosa kissed her nose in return. It made Catherine giggle. At first, the kisses were sweet, innocent. The kind of punch-drunk kisses that sent them both into bouts of giggling. But Catherine's hand caressed her neck. The kisses lingered. Lips melded. Hands explored. And Rosa sucked on Catherine's tongue inside her mouth. Wine. Candle wax. Spit. That was what it tasted like. Rosa's head began to swoon. Catherine's hand squeezed her right breast. Tripe. Grapes. Plush. Rosa began to taste more of her. Longing. Regrets. Tears. A sensational flavor she had never tasted before hovering at the edge of her tongue. Suddenly, she was hungry for it. Take it all. I can only think of what else that could possibly be right now. Rosa savored the taste. She breathed deeply. All mine. Child! I want it. Her heart. I want her heart. Her love is sweet. Listen to my voice. Mother? But I'm so hungry. I can't even keep a solid voice for that. So hungry. Stop! Rosa flung her eyes open. A sinking feeling of menace overcame her. No! Rosa pulled away. She pushed Catherine away from her face. Catherine's eyes snapped open, startled by Rosa's outburst. Why did you stop? Greedy, selfish bitch! She blinked for a few seconds. A look of horror creeped onto her face. I'm sorry. I didn't mean... No. Kath! Rosa couldn't stand the hurt in her eyes. She was probably blaming herself. Rosa wanted to shout how wrong she was, but the lump in her throat became a rapist's mouth. A tumor had grown inside of her, a parasite. She could feel it pulse and slither inside her neck. She couldn't speak at all. Catherine wobbled off the bed. She wiped her mouth and cheeks, which were covered with a thin layer of drool. I'm so sorry, Rosa. I'm going to leave now. Kath! Good night. Rosa should have followed her. But when she tried to stand, the floor twirled. She choked at the flavor left in her throat. Sick and cloying, sticking sweet like honey. The taste both repulsed and enticed her. Thick spit leaked out of her mouth. She felt the urge to vomit. This is nothing, Mother. Just a bad after effect of alcohol. No. Please don't call me that. It was an accident. Tat. Everything is fine. She would talk to Catherine tomorrow, assure her that this was not her fault. Everything was fine. There was an urgent knock at William's door. The clock read 2:15 in the morning. Whew. Goddamn. Anyway, he closed his journal and stood up from his desk. Yes, coming. He opened his door. Catherine stood in front of him, her cheeks stained with hastily wiped tears. Kath? Tat. William, can we talk? Oh, isn't it quite late? Please, it's urgent. All right. William led her inside. Lady, you smell like my vintage bottle. You smell like my vintage bottle of Bourgogne. Did you get so drunk that you actually thought of apologizing first? I didn't think I'd see the day. Sherry was wrong. Catherine's thumb went into her mouth without thinking. How could she even begin to tell William what she had done? Honey, I was really upset with you today. So despite any good sense, I went and got myself drunk. This time, I dragged Rosa along with me. Things have a tendency to go out of hand when alcohol is involved, as you know. Long story short, I came onto Rosa. You know Rosa, the girl who's almost like my sister. Yes, I may have forced myself on her. And I did it right after she had told me she had been abused before. She felt William's hand take her thumb away from her mouth. Kath. She looked at her fingers in horror. Her habit had surfaced again. She thought she had gotten rid of this as she grew up, replacing nail biting with a meticulous, almost obsessive care for her fingers. My fingers are my livelihood. I must take care of them. Now the nails were chewed down to jagged stumps, and a couple of them had tiny blistering cuts. Kath, can you talk? Catherine's eyes snapped back to William, as if he had just materialized in the room beside her. So yes, like I was saying, darling, which is the worst thing? What do you think? The implied incest, my abuse of my best friend, or my infidelity to you? Or if that doesn't cut it, may I divulge to you one last point? I felt something worrying when I kissed her. Excitement. If she hadn't stopped me, something else would have. It felt so real. It didn't feel like a mistake. It felt like it had always been there, buried deeply. So much so that I felt like cheating. It was like a craving. I wanted it. It was something I haven't felt with you when we... Why is this happening? I don't know. I don't even know who I am anymore. Kath, you're scaring me. Tell me what's wrong. Would you still want to marry me? Would you still love me if you knew? I wouldn't. I can't even look at myself in the mirror. But I think I know who I am now. I'm a selfish, depraved bitch. I've always been controlling, jealous over you. And just one night of drunken frenzy, I went and took advantage of two people I cared for the most. Not enough wine to justify this. I want to call off the engagement. At first, Catherine saw that William treated it as a joke, but the panic in his eyes set in immediately. What? I said I'm calling off the engagement. Well, I refuse. You don't have a choice. I'm leaving tomorrow. No. Not until you tell me what's wrong. William's eyes didn't flinch. These were the looks he gave her that melted her heart. They were so sure and steadfast in their care. They were just fighting this morning, and a fight she had started as usual. Yet there was no doubt in his eyes at all. If she were to see the certainty fade away from those eyes, she knew it would break her. Is it about the fight earlier? Besides, Kath, I swear to you, I haven't done any of the... No, stop! Hearing him reinstate his devotion to her just made it feel more painful. Tears pooled in her eyes and fell in ugly globs. She had been doing so well, too. She had thought she could hold it in until she left. She wiped the tears as best as she could, but more kept pouring out. It isn't about that. Then what is it? What do you want me to do? Whatever it is, I shall do it. This is so hard. Why did it have to be so hard? Why did she even go here? Because she wanted to see his face. She wondered what it would be like for a cheater to go back to the arms of her lover. Would it change somehow? Did she still love him? How could she even tell? All her emotions were wrapped into a thick layer of guilt. It was so hard to distinguish every painful thought. She'd started to sob now. Yes, indeed, ugly, unflattering snorts came out of her nose. It felt comforting to hold on to guilt. Its existence made the hatred towards herself bite less. Kath, please, just tell me what's bothering you. Da-da-da. I don't deserve you. I'm a horrible person. You ought to find someone else to marry. Catherine let the words tumble out of her mouth, slightly relieved to be rid of them. She looked tearfully up at William to gauge his reaction, but he just stared back at her blankly. Da-da-da? Da-da-da? Why wouldn't he say anything? Catherine sobbed, fearing the worst. William cleared his throat and spoke hesitantly. Could you, repeat that again? He cupped his hands to his ears and angled it closer to her face. He apparently hadn't caught any of her heartfelt words. Catherine snarled angrily at him. You idiot! I'm having a breakdown here. But I didn't understand what you said. I said you ought to find someone else to marry because I'm a horrible person. William pulled her to him. Oh, that's it. Whatever made you think I'll accept that reason? Catherine's tears soaked his shirt. You don't know what I've done. Didn't tell me. You'll hate me, I guarantee it. Did you punch a baby? Because that would make me... Personally, that would make me think that you're awesome. Like, Catherine, in Perk Layton's eyes, you'd be really cool if you punched a baby and just ran off. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be nothing worth crying about. I put that on a plaque and hang it somewhere, personally. I punched a baby. I think it would look good right above my, either right above or right below that Adobe certification. I think it'd be pretty great. Don't you? I punched a baby. Alright, I'm done. No. The inside joke made her laugh out of the blue. She buried her face in his chest in a half sob, half laugh. Suddenly her doubts were cleared. Suddenly she didn't want to marry anyone else. Catherine's arms tightened around William's waist. I've been taking you for granted, haven't I? I've been arrogant, expecting you to always adjust to me and my whims. I never forever sprung out of... What? A new forever sprung out of her love for him. I don't deserve you right now. But I'll work on that if you give me another chance. First she would tell him what she had done. Then it would be up to him if he still wanted her. He deserves that decision. What I did... But William stopped her with a kiss on her forehead. Tomorrow. Sorry, I just completely screwed his voice. Tomorrow. After a hearty breakfast and a good night's rest, I'll listen to what you have to say. Though I'm quite sure my answer will be the same. Catherine's face melted into a smile, and he beamed at her. My star finally smiles. Catherine wiped her eyes. I love you so much. She sighed with content. Part of her anxiety put to rest. I do. I really do. She whispered that last one under her breath, as if trying to console herself. William. Yes, dear. Will you make love to me? William's brows shot up in surprise. And actually did in the... Anyway. Right now? Yes. No. Well, if you're not ready, later is also fine. Or tomorrow. But since it's already morning, then technically it's today, right? William's head tilted slightly, and an amused smirk plastered on his face. Please take me seriously, William. This is important to me. I have to know. I have to make sure. Make sure of what? Catherine. William held her hand. I think you're tired. And just a little bit barmy. More than usual, I mean. But this is what we will do. William guided the woman to his bed and sat her down. We are going to lay on the bed. I'm going to pat your hair until you fall asleep. I shall skip work today. Have that trifling little talk you want. And as such, if you're still in the love-making type of mood, then, mademoiselle, I will take you up on your offer. Catherine's eyes moistened, but this time they were happy tears. I love you. William shrugged and lifted Catherine's legs onto the bed. I love you too, and aren't you lucky? Save it. He climbed onto the bed beside her. Catherine draped over him. He searched for her hand, brought it up to his lips, and patted it. She closed her eyes and rested her head on his chest comfortably by the warmth of his embrace. Monsieur? Monsieur, can I ask you something? Gotta check it. I just need to know. It's for my own knowledge sakes. In case I ever have to go to France and someone calls me Monsieur. Aw, sweetie. Monsieur, can I ask you something? Why do you love me so much? William mused for a while. Is that a trick question? It feels like a trick question. Catherine whined. All right, I shall humor you for now because you are in such a pathetic state. I've loved you simply because it's easy to love you, darling. You are my star and my light. You keep me right always. You make me want to do good by you to be a better person. You aren't even my wife yet, but the townspeople are already calling you their lady. I may have to hand you the marquisdom myself. That is only because everyone in town knows who I am. Oh, I wonder why that is. Is it because you help sell vegetables in the marketplace on weekends? Or because you conspire with the cooks to hold impromptu picnics with the locals? You know about that? One can only sneak out that much food. Without getting caught, without getting noticed, madame. It amuses me how the servants cover for you upon inquiry as well. It was my idea. They're not to blame. I know, darling, I know. William chuckled and kissed her temple. It goes to show your presence uplifts everyone's lives, including mine. Da-da-da. But honestly, those aren't the reasons exactly why. Those reasons aren't exactly why. I love you, Kath, I just do. Beyond what I thought I was capable of. Catherine's heart creaked with the last utterance. If I did something bad, would you still love me? Yes, I would. Are you sure? I'm sure. What if I've hurt an innocent person? What if I've hurt you? She bit her lip. What if I was unfaithful? William stared at her question. Catherine buried her face in his chest. She felt his hand smooth her hair. He whispered gently into her head. If you would still have me, come back to me. If you would still have me, come back to me. Sure. What happens doesn't matter at all. You are not your mistakes, Kath. William cleared his throat. Suddenly, he seemed to have trouble breathing. You have the power to change. How about you? If I told you that, I am not what I say I am, would you? What do you mean? Never mind. It's a silly question. What? Is something bothering you, Shao? William turned his head away and closed his eyes. Nothing, darling. We should sleep now. Catherine patted away the frown on his brow. She traced his cheeks with her fingertips. William, I do love you. Now I am more than certain. It gives my heart happiness to know for sure. What reminded me was your generosity. You give every bit of yourself to the people you love, don't you? Do you know that? Because I have to, darling. Well, you have always inspired me, Xiao. I have always looked up to you. You treat everyone, no matter their status, with kindness. Never have I met a man more generous and thoughtful about others. A man with so much to give. So much love to give. Oh my God. And that is why I love you. You're a good man. But if that's not what I really am. Catherine shook her head. You can't fake sacrifice, monsieur. I have seen you care for people in this town. I have seen how you loved me. I don't care much for intention, you see. It's what we actually do that defines us. William paused, his voice choked up in his throat. Not always. Not always. William found Catherine's hand on his face and squeezed it. She stretched her neck and kissed his cheek. Catherine, you are always scared that I will leave you. But the truth is, I know it is you who will leave me. And it hurts. What? You are different. I've loved you for so long. It scares me how deep I have rooted myself. Sometimes I deem it better to end this wretched existence. To save you from... What are you talking about, William? You're not making any sense. Is it your turn to scare me? I'm sorry. They didn't speak for a while. The air became a little uncomfortable. She could feel William's stressful breathing on her forehead. Catherine would wonder what William was talking about, but it didn't seem like he wanted to discuss it further. When William started to calm down, Catherine thought it was best to sleep and ask him about it the next day. But William spoke again. His voice was very low and serious. Catherine, do you love me? With all my heart, William. I've loved you for what it seems like my whole life. The candle flickered. William slipped his hand on Catherine's hair and gently pushed her face towards his. She closed her eyes and let the sensations of his lips take her. His mouth left sweet traces on her skin, as if washing away her sins, blessing her, anointing her. Catherine tasted salt in his kisses, like the taste of tears. She wanted to take away all of his sorrows. William held her tightly, longingly. She drowned herself in his embrace. His palms caressed her neck as he kissed her, sliding down her arm and the curve of her waist. His fingers tugged gently on her skin. Catherine darted her tongue inside his mouth, and William answered it with his own. She wanted his every kiss. She felt pleasure to know he was hers. Her hands ran up and down his back as their kisses grew heavier. She felt him get excited, and she moved her hand between his legs. William broke away. Kath, let's stop. You're tired. Catherine looked into his eyes and saw he wanted her despite his protests. After the events of that night, there was a despair in Catherine that longed to be quenched. It was a selfish atonement, perhaps a hunger for self-worth. She ran her tongue over his lips. I want this. Kath. Catherine straddled him, dipping her head and plunging her tongue deep into his mouth. She opened his shirt, nibbling on his ear as she did. She could feel his manhood alive on her thigh. She moved her hips. A distraught moan left his throat. She bit her lip coyly. It made her want to do more. The clench of his jaw, his aroused breath, the cord of his neck. They were little trophies, her bliss. Catherine pulled his shirt free. She traced a finger down his bare stomach, keeping rhythm on his hips, keeping the rhythm on her hips. He opened his mouth, eyes fluttering. She watched in ecstasy as he bit his lips. To know that he couldn't resist her made her swell with pride. William grinded with her. He began to answer her passion with his own energy. William sat up on the bed, finally reaching for her, finally giving in. It felt like a victory to her. William grabbed her neck and pulled her face to him. Oh, this is an eerie sound. His tongue bored deep into her. Catherine pulled on his hair, surprised at his sudden intensity. Heat ran through her body. She savored his dominance. His lips ran down her neck to her chest. He sucked on her collarbone while working the buttons on her blouse. He slipped the garment down with his teeth and kissed the bare skin experimentally. Every nerve felt tender. Every length of the skin felt raw. It was a reminder, an awareness that her flesh was a living thing. There was a buildup of tension as he squeezed her breast, planting soft, tiny kisses on its fullness. His hands hovered near her crotch. A stray finger would brush her sensitive spots almost innocently. It drove her mad. He was teasing her, studying her reactions with every touch. Catherine drew a sharp breath as William sucked on her nipple. His tongue played with it until it was hard and perked. Catherine felt like a melting candle. Hot in a blaze, dripping, thawing in her own heat. I'm not sure whether this is going to get sexy or whether this is going to get weak or whether this is going to get really disturbing really fast. I'm so on edge. I know I'm reading this as if like, oh, it's whatever. I don't really care about that part. I really don't. But I feel something's uneasy. This music puts me in an uneasy feeling, and they've been really good with their sound design for the most part. So something is going to happen, I feel like. And it's I can't like I'm reading this obviously, so I'm into it, but and like I'm very into what's going on, but I can't pull away from the feeling that I feel like something is going to happen, and it's going to be disturbing. Her heart began to pace in time with their kisses, growing steadily heavier, beating louder, from sweet affection to wanton lust. He whispered her name, and it sent a violent tremor throughout her skin. It would start in her torso, surging through her, startling the roots of her hair. Her throat made short, hurt sounds. She would usually stop here. An irksome apathy would take hold of her, and she would stop. Now, this wasn't like the other times. Catherine felt a hot throbbing at the pit of her stomach. A clench in her body would wound her up tighter and tighter, putting her in danger of release. This was different. This was... Do you love me, Catherine? William, Her voice came out throaty and thick. William laid her down on the bed. His fingers slipped easily inside her, the sensation smooth like silk. She felt him moving around inside, pressing on her walls experimentally. It didn't take long for him to find her weakness. He was surprisingly worryingly adept. Catherine squirmed. She didn't have time to marvel at his expertise. His left hand massaged her breast while the other tickled the lips of her opening. His little finger petted her other hole. William's lips ran down her shoulder. She barely noticed him slipping in another finger inside. When she did, her mind went white for a few seconds. A sharp breath, then a sigh. Her hips were moving on their own, while their tongues flickered and danced. Another heart seemed to beat and throb furiously in her groin. She felt for him. She found his shaft stiff under his trousers. She squeezed his stiffness, eager for its girth. Girth. That's a really weird word now that I think about it. Girth. Anyway. Cloth against flesh, soft against hard. Lips and teeth spit and sweat. Their bodies began to rock together. Their breaths were high and audible. William dug his tongue onto the hollow of her neck. Catherine whined. The soft sounds returned to her lips, but William covered them with his mouth. Her voice echoed in their heads. She wanted to scream, and scream would She wanted to scream, and the scream would come from very deep. Do you love me? Oh God! Oh God, I love you! She said it in an urgent, desperate frenzy. In and out his fingers went, each time touching her places. With every movement, he seemed to steal her breath. Faster now. Then she twitched, and something snapped inside of her. Her toes curled and squealed, and a squeal escaped through her nose. Catherine opened her eyes. She caught something alarming as she stared up at him. It didn't look like William in the shadows, unlicked by the candlelight. His features were the same. His eyes were in the same place. His nose and lips were the same shape. But this man was a stranger. He did not care for her, like how a snake did not care for its prey. For a brief second, she was afraid. A tiny voice told her to run away, but that voice was washed away by a wave of carnal desire. The stranger grinned at Catherine. Man! Oh, we're back here. See, I told you it was gonna. It can get as sexual as it wants for a minute. This music was not gonna allow it to be endearing. Okay, I'm sorry. You guys just saw me do that. It's because one screen is technically a little bit brighter, and the screen over here is where I keep all my. This is where I'm looking at all my settings for my video, my audio, my camera. All this stuff's over here. This is where I'm playing the game, is over here. It takes up the whole screen. The screen seems like it's a little bit darker. And so over here, it's a different. I'm seeing something a little bit different. You guys will be able to see it just the same, but for me, it's a change. Which is why I kind of had to look and examine it for a second, as well as examine my. Anyway. Fast now, deeper his kisses went, as if it reached from something inside of her. His weight on her body excited her, but it also felt like a prison. Run, rabbit! Run, rabbit, run! Catherine viciously devoured his lips. Her hands cruised south, kneading and clutching greedily. Her legs were draped around her waist. Were draped around his waist. A force overtook her, a hunger. Here comes the farmer's gun. She tried to ignore the growing coldness in William's eyes. She tried to ignore the way her body moved on its own. Run, rabbit! Run, rabbit, run! Her hands found the clasp of his trousers, and she undid them. Quickly now. Quickly. She clutched his hardness, moving her hand up and down. Catherine's mouth salivated. He bit on her shoulder. She felt more of his teeth than his lips on her body. Catherine scolded herself for being aroused. Her mounting terror only served to aggravate her urges. She wanted this. I want this. She was hungry. I am hungry. She heard the man snicker. He wants the farmer's pie. So don't stand idly by. Run, rabbit, run. He entered her without warning. Catherine gasped. The shiver was from both pleasure and fear, a dangerous mix. But it was cruel. There was no warmth, just cold, hard greed. And yet she couldn't help but want him. She pushed her hips to move with him. She wanted to please him. Slowly at first, savoring the warmth of this new territory. Then faster, keeping a steady pace. Catherine's voice kept in time, her breaths high and hot. With their every movement, Catherine felt her energy wither away. A heady, nauseous feeling of malady was clawing at her. What was missing? What was taken away? She didn't know what it was. She didn't know what was gone until it was. The final scream of protest died in her mind. The last that was left of her lucidity. Lucidity? The urge to escape left. No more reason to stop. Catherine moaned. Stop? No, I must not stop. Why did I even think that? What if I'd hate her? What if he'd hate her? It was an agonizing thought. She had to give him more. More. His eyes observed her with cold amusement. Catherine touched his chest in reverence. His eyes were cold, but his body was like fire. What? In her mind's eyes, he had started to become something else. A winged creature engulfed in flame, both hot and cold and magnificent. Both beautiful and terrible. Both dark and light. At times she would be on the bed with a man that she remembered. At times she would be on the bed with a man she might remember as the one she once loved. Other times she would be floating suspended on a dark chasm of flesh. There was a creature with her, somebody she both loathed and adored. Sometimes there were two people. Sometimes there was only him. Only him. The woman called Catherine didn't exist. She was merely an extension of his mind. Soon all of her would be gone, little by little, disintegrating to be part of him forever. Catherine screamed. She came again with that thought. Oh, bliss! She was prepared to give everything to him. It didn't even seem a worthy sacrifice to lay at his feet. But all he asked for was her heart. The small, pathetic thing. It had always been his anyway. She gave it gleefully. He was so generous and considerate, benevolent, fair. She savored his fullness inside her body. She worshipped him. He was her God. Please want me. Please find me pretty. She craved his love above anything else, above fear and confusion, above the mourning at something precious lost. Love me, please. Love me. She begged. I'll do anything for you. Anything? His lips did not move, save for a smile. The words simply dropped in her head, echoed, and took root. Catherine's eyes lost their glimmer. Anything. Then tell me again. I want to hear it. Do you love me, Catherine? Her name on his lips was the only reminder of her former self. I do. I love you. I love you. I love you so much. With these words, she felt him stiffen inside her. Oh, what? This is weird. He moved faster, aroused by her devotion to him. A wave of fire burnt her lips as their mouths intertwined. His passion heightened. He arched back. His back arched. Sweat beaded on his forehead and traced his temple. What a wondrous sight. It was ice beginning to thaw. A sun on the verge of eclipse. His coldness replaced by radiating heat. God damn it, this is weird, man. His coldness replaced by radiating heat that melded and fastened her to him like a fire with metal. She felt another orgasm threaten her insides. Really? Do you love me? Yes. She screamed. Yes. The candle fizzled out. Beneath that definitely looks like a heart. God, that looks like a heart. Does that look like a heart to you guys? It looks like a heart to me. Oh. Beneath the depths of her hazy mind, she was relieved she didn't have to look at his face. It's beating like a heart. It's a fucking heart. She tastes just like the richest chocolate, the finest wine. I can't stop. My whole body shivers with the taste of her. Her breath on my neck, her fingers scratching at my back, the sound she makes as I push into her. Her lust gives me sustenance to move faster, to devour her faster. Stop. I knew waiting so long would be worth it. I've been her lover for years, and this flavor is divine. My head spins. My appetite swells. I can't stop. I bind her hands into a tight grip, push them above her head. Her legs squeeze my waist. I can feel her excitement mounting with her helplessness. I lick my lips in delight. I haven't breathed so deeply for a long time. You're taking too much. Her love is exquisite. It is laced with anger, reverence, disappointment, pain, memories. All different relishes and morsels melding into one. Stop it. Her love is a delicacy. You're destroying her. I can't stop myself. I haven't tasted this kind of love for so long. Flirtations and physical attraction can only get me by for so long. I was going to wait. There is a waning in her love. Confusion, doubt, but that helping of guilt tinged the flavor perfectly. I must feed now. Her love is most perfect tonight. My body wants her. I couldn't stop now even if I wanted to. Liar! And I almost let you escape. To save her. I almost ran away. I love her. I love her. And tomorrow? Maybe. What will become of her? I will find another. Next time. Something insignificant. I want to relish this taste a little bit more. No. No! The mounting pleasure in my bones clamps on my groin. The numbness spreads to my stomach. It is almost painful. It goads me to increase my rhythm, and she follows my lead. Good girl. Good girl. With every move, I feel her love osmose into my other mouth. She clings to me, her moans louder. Her bare chest glistened with sweat. Oh my god, I'm running out. She is beautiful. It won't be long now. A final drawing of breath. Do you love me, Catherine? Give me all of your love. All of it. Give it to me. I want it all. It's mine. Mine. Catherine. Give me more. I want more. More. Okay, dude. More. Alright, so I was saving because I was going to do an outro and everything, but I just wanted to show you guys just really quickly. Right here, this chapter is called Metamorphosis. Something's changing. Something is going on. Something is changing right now. That's what all that was. Which, speaking of, we're ending this episode here. It's going on for way too long. But god damn it. I couldn't stop in the middle of that. It's ridiculous how much was going on in that. Okay, I can't even break anything down. Honestly, I need some time to process it if I want to try to break it down. Also, like I said, this video is already running on too long. I can't babble for too long. I would usually give you a summary of what's going on, but god, I don't know. Very little was actually explained in what just happened. I mean, obviously we know what just happened, but we don't understand what just happened. Maybe you do and I don't. If you do, let me know what you're thinking down in the comments down below. But I don't know. I don't understand it. What I do know, Catherine went on her tour. I guess is what we'll call it. She played her piano beautifully. Of course, at the first night, they were in Paris, which is her dream, which is why William funded it to be there for the first night. And of course, Rosa was there. She was like, hey girl, you did good, you know, bitch, you slayed, all that type of shit. And that's cool. But then, right afterwards, She's like, yeah, I'll come meet you outside. Just give me a second to go finish up, just tidy up really quickly in here. You know, just pretty regular stuff. And then William walks in. He's like, yo, bitch, I love you, and you gonna love me. And at first she was like, nah, I don't give a damn. But then right afterwards, she's like, fuck, I can't fucking love this guy. I'm falling in love, which is like, oh shit, okay. And then right afterwards, they've been arguing like crazy because she still thinks that he's cheating. He's not cheating from what he says, but I'll tell my thoughts later because I don't have much time, like I said. So that's all I understood. And then they got to the part where they argued for a long time, back and forth. Rosa was brought into it because Catherine was like, yo, drink with me. So then they drank, and then they had like a lesbianist relationship really quickly. But it was really, really quick, and they stopped it. And it was after Rosa had explained that she had been abused beforehand, which, better or worse, I don't know how you want to take that. I don't know. And holy crap. So that's what just happened with that. And past that, Catherine runs up to William, is like, yo, so I may have fucked up, but William's like, yo, don't tell me now. We'll talk about it tomorrow when you're a little more sane. She's like, make love to me. He's like, you seem like you're kind of vulnerable. Let's not do this now. We'll do that tomorrow as well if you're still feeling like it after we do this whole talking thing. She's like, nah, bitch, you gonna fuck me now. And then they went into that, and she says she's seeing two different people. Which now this is a mental mind game, and I'm fucking confused. I have no idea what's going on. I got nothing for you guys. It's been percolating. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real freaking freaky. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.